Okay, so it's not bait. I have left RTS, retired, whatever you want to call it. Basically, I quit RTS. So I'll go over all the reasons and whatnot. But first of all, in the description below, there'll be the war videos and whatnot. So if you want to look at them, click in the description. So in this video, I'll be going over why I quit, some stuff about like YouTube RTS, I guess. How long do I think the game's gonna last? So I think it's dying. And just generally everything RTS related, and all that sort of stuff. So it's worth the watch. Yeah. So first of all, what I am quitting RTS. I have quit RTS. I've been retired, if you will, for over a month. No regrets at all. Honestly, honest God, no regrets at all. So here's one thing I've always been like very. It's always been like a funny question to ask everyone. So people would say to each other, "Do you ever regret downloading this game?" And most people will say, "If I could go back in time and uninstall this game and never touch it, I would." And how would I answer that? I would say absolutely the same. So don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed my time in RTS. So we'll start at the beginning. I started off at the very start of the game when 3 stars were the only thing, and it was an absolute. I think it was Sandies, like just like 5 Sandies on a team. That was the meta. And then I took a break from the game, came back when 5 stars were around. So I took like a few months break, but yeah. I was around when the game first started, hence why I got a Patient Zero background. Um, so yeah, and then my journey started off in Barren region. There's not many Barren people left. Most of them retired throughout the metas, through the stages, but there's a few still around. I think TK is still around, Ducifer is still around, Kenny, Tango, and Badman. I believe they're all still around. So shout out to them, the OG Baron crew. So it started off in Baron. Enjoyed 5 star era. My first 5 star was Victor. Great fucking tune. Absolutely amazing. Then I remember it was Red Governor, Red Shane, and that's where my game sort of started. Loved it. Absolutely amazing. The variety in the 5 star era was amazing. It felt like the community was fucking thriving. Like there's so much competition. Yeah, it was only within your region, but like, honest to God, the interactions, the variety in teams you could make, it was all there. It was fucking phenomenal back then. Now granted, I was pretty much very new and I was still very shit at the game. I wasn't bad by any means. Like Victor carried me. Fucking hell, that tune was amazing. But yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed it. Then 6 stars came around. 6 stars, I was less engaged at the start, but it took me a little while to get into it because I was missing Green Carl, and Green Carl at the start of the meta was very essential. So I was a little slow, but as the 6 star meta went through, I was enjoying it. I loved my Amber. I loved my Doc Stevens Diego, the absolute goat. Loved it. Some people didn't like the 6 star era, and I understand that. The paybacks and Mia's, it was a little tedious, the Lydia's, but nonetheless, I enjoyed it. I thought community was still there. I thought it was still a good game, and I was very much still enjoying myself. Now, going into the S-Class era, first half of the S-Class era, I was loving it. Now, granted, when Priya Rampage first came out and the army came out, I was like, fuck me, this is insane. But I caught up eventually, and first half of the S-Class era, I really enjoyed. Now, where my enjoyment started to decrease, I guess you could say, was I would guess Trader. Everything after Trader sort of became fucking stupid. Definitely wasn't having fun towards the end of the S-Class era. Like, everyone was running the same team. Magna's, Andrea's, Akira's. It was just too many broken tunes, and hence why the Mythic era came around. Now, Mythic era. I enjoyed the start of it. I thought, great start. Skitch did a lot of good things. Like, Conquest was pretty cool. And the introduction of like skills and whatnot, I thought that was really cool. But here's where it sort of became less enjoyable for me. Now, I've already said that towards the end of the S-Class era, I wasn't really having fun. So I sort of I was going to bail at the end of the S-Class meta, but I was like, Scopes is making all this effort to make all these announcements and shit. I'll give it a go. So I gave it a go. Start, I mean, just turned one everyone with fucking Jeremiah and Tyrese. You know, then Zeke came, had to come. So yeah, and then I was enjoying it, but then the first red flag for me was not as much the trainers and whatnot, because it was just new at the time, like Ulysses and Lilith. So that wasn't the big problem for me. But the main problem was Ty. Now, you're probably wondering, why the fuck does Ty ring a red flag? I'll tell you why. 180, 170, 160, so one of those numbers for a toon. That's around $400 for a toon. And then for a maxed out one, double it. And that was like, what the fuck? Because with S-Class, you had the casino chips and the shard system. I love the shard system. You could always get a card. Yeah, it might take a while. Yes, it might not be meta, but you could always get the card. And God forbid, you only need like 2 copies. So, you know, big dubs for S-Class there. But that was the first red flag for me, and I was like, right. And then progressively, the toons started becoming a bit stronger. Like, we had Sam. Sam is still OP, in my opinion. Like, he's still really fucking strong. Yeah, there's loads of cards to get around him now, but, like, I still think he's an OP character. But here's where my enjoyment fucking went down so fucking much. Zachary. Fucking Zachary. Now, I'll just say this again. Zachary ruined the Mythic era so fucking early and has ruined it. In a sense. So, we'll go into this one more time because I've said it so many fucking times. Zachary should have never been made how he was. He had too much fucking bleed, and I said that. You could auto teams and it wasn't fun. Now, what does Scopely do when an OP character comes out? They fucking soft counter it. Yeah, they soft countered it. Tara, yellows and blues get 70% bleed resistance. So you only took 30% damage on those toons. And then your greens and reds took full damage. So I was like, all right, that's all right. It's all right. No complaints. It's a soft counter, but it sort of works. Okay, I'm okay with that. Then they hard countered it. And what I mean by that is William. William, 80% to everyone. I mean, bleed and burn, gone. Jackie came out later. Bleed and burn resist, leader. And then you had Headless Herschel, remove it, everyone's bleed. And then you had, I think Wangfuzz got it now. Everyone gets rid of it. So now for permanently in the Mythic era, bleed and burn, you can't really viably use it unless they bring out something absolutely fucking, crazy. But anyway, going back to the Zach problem, yeah, it just sucked ass. Because I was like, wow, you just locked off 2 ways of attack. So you literally got like raw damage and then you got infection. And I was just like, pfft. And then the toons that kept coming after that, it was Marcus and William. I was just like snoring. Like, it was so fucking boring. And then the meta just progressively just became more and more unenjoyable. Like, it was doable, but like it wasn't fun. And then wars became 30 minutes, 30-minute wars against 1 hour wars. If you were ever in the 1 hour wars, they were fucking, action-packed, really engaging. But then 30-minute wars, it's like, ugh, no high scores anymore. And then I think it's now down to 20 minutes. And they're pissing around with towers. I don't know. But frankly, I prefer the 1 hour wars. But we'll get off that topic now. So another thing that made me want to quit RTS was not just how like unenjoyable like just daily playing became. It was also the neglect that Scopely just keeps doing. So in my opinion, if a game is active and the developers are very passionate about it, everything will get updated on a daily basis. RTS gets updated every once in a fucking blue moon, and if it's updated, it's only for a monetary purpose. So, for example, Supply Depot, update it. Put some some ascendable, like some good ascendables in there. shit, I don't know, put some New World Order tunes in the depot or something, I don't know. But put some newer shit in there. It's been very neglected. 5-star weapons, might as well put them in there because fuck knows no one's running 4 stars. World cans, more of them. And then, S-Class sharding, stay, they're pretty good, but like, it should have been updated. Like, that's not been updated in fucking donkey's years. And then we come to SR Depot. Still shit. It's still shit. It's still overpriced. The only good thing in there is a platinum mod. So, yeah, that's just been neglected as well. And then the scav missions, they haven't been updated in forever either because, I don't know, Scopely doesn't care. Like, they were siege missions, there was blah, blah, blah. But it's still outdated as fuck. You can get like a few thousand material, a few thousand food. It's like, nobody's using it. Update it. Common sense, but they just neglect it. Crafting, there's nothing been added to that. You could add some more fun items, but nope. Museum, like you've been collecting these museum coins or whatever whenever you complete a collection. Still nothing happened with that. You could add some cool shit with that, maybe some cosmetics or something, I don't know. No, nothing. And then here's where a big problem with RTS came. It was just suffocating us of resources, sort of forcing your hand or making you just purposely wait, which, oh my fuck, it was so fucking harsh. So first of all, armory tokens. Armory tokens, you need weapons to get the most out of your tunes, but there was no way of farming armory tokens. There was no real way of getting them consistently, meaning it was either buy them or slowly craft your shit. And yeah, oh my fuck, it was just horrible. Trainers, Lilith, Maddoxes, all that shit. Like, those purple trainers were fucking near impossible to get as free to play. And if you did, you were maybe maxing out a tune every 2-3 months. Like, honest to God, you were not getting any of them. And that was just resource suffocation just to force people into spending. So, like, here's the funny thing, right? You spend, like, let's say you got really unlucky. Like, worst case scenario, you wanted a max out tune. That's a Limb Break 3. That's $1,000. One smackaroos down the tube, right? Then you haven't got any trainers. That's like another like 100 or 200 smackaroos, right? And then maybe you haven't got armory tokens to make the weapon. That's even more. Like, it's just non-fucking stop. You're missing one thing, then you're missing another thing, then you're missing another thing. Like, there's just not enough given away in tournaments, events. Oh my god, events. Don't get me started. I'll go to that later. But, like, holy shit. Scopely just doesn't take constructive feedback. If it makes money, they don't give a fuck. If it loses them money, they give a fuck. They just don't listen to the suggestion. They're like, yeah. So you're saying you want more of this? What's the sales on the special trainers and whatnot? And if we give them away for free, what does that do? It loses us money? Yeah, no. Yeah, you're not getting that. You get one of each. It's like, fuck me. So yeah, resource suffocation and that. So yeah, that was annoying. Fucking promos were overpriced as donkey dick. Holy shit. And the worst thing was they would make the tunes very good at Limit Break 3, or like the best bit of the kit at Limit Break 3, sort of forcing your hand, and oh my fucking days. You couldn't have made it cheaper. Like, fuck me, like 400 pulls. Like 200 should be the maximum of anything. Like, holy shit. And that was every week. They were releasing a promo, and I said at the start, every 2 weeks. But no, oh my god, promos were non-stop. It was fucking unbearable. And they were way better than free-to-play tunes. Like, free-to-play are still getting dicked every week. Like, there's no good free-to-play tunes that have been given out in forever. Like, Lydia is probably the best one you've got. But fuck me, they just do not like giving free-to-play any viable tunes unless they get lucky from that fucking gold wheel, which you're not getting lucky. There's so many tunes in there. I'm just gonna say it again. Free to play, you are the winners of the game. If you've not gave Scopely money, you're a winner in my book. So congratulations. If you're a spender, you might be a winner in some cases, but you're definitely a loser in a lot more. So like myself, I'm a big loser on that. Like, shit. Yeah. So another thing was Scopely just never understood what made the game intriguing, like, and whatnot. Like, they just kept doing the same thing, expecting people to be like, yeah, this is fucking good. Let's log in every day. Like, every week, you could guess what was going on. Level Up, Raid, SR, War, over and fucking over. There's no new game modes. Hordes, I didn't care for Hordes, but throw it in the mix every so often. I wouldn't touch it, but throw it in. Onslaught, burned. Faction Assault, burned. Like, there's none of that was updated. Because like the general feedback wasn't very good. They didn't try and adjust it. They just said, nah, we're throwing it away. New game modes, like, fuck me. There needs to be new game modes. You can't just keep running the same 5 events every week. Because it's not. Like, those events have the shittest fucking rewards, and they're not worth doing. The only reason people doing them is for milestones, and milestones isn't even that great. So yeah, they need to update events. They need to make more events that isn't the same shit, because the event rewards are crap, and it's just generally boring doing the same shit every week. So another thing was League Store. League Store progressively was getting worse, and I don't know how they managed to do that. League Store's the easiest thing to maintain. Put 2 good weapons in there. Put some, I don't know, but I put a tune in there. And then put some salvage tokens in there. It's a very easy thing to maintain. Everyone knows the expectation. But, like, you're putting in weapons that were just complete, utter shit. That required more work to modify than if it was just to make a brand new weapon and get higher stats on it. Like, I don't know how they were physically, like, fucking that up. People were saying it's shit, but they kept making it worse. And I was like, how are you this fucking thing? They're so distance from the game. Like, they seem to be, some people there seem to care, but, like, they just seem to distance, because they have to make this quota every month. Like, oh, you got to make this much money. You got to do this, that, and the other. But, like, it's just not, it's not keeping people engaged. Like, I've always said it, but, like, keeping people engaged is the way forward, but they just don't listen. And it's fucking frustrating. So now we'll be talking about YouTube RTS, and then we'll talk about how long I think the game's going to last. So, YouTube RTS. So why did I start YouTube? I guess it was a few things. Fox was a big inspiration. Loved Fox. Best RTS YouTuber, period, in my opinion. Jab was there. I thought he was fucking cool. Vans, he was fucking sick as well. And I just recorded some videos, literally. I just recorded some wars and I uploaded them. That was literally it. Nothing else. I saw not many people was doing it, and I was like, sure, I'll throw up a war. The war videos sort of blew up, and then from there on, yeah, it just became a thing. Now, where did, like, I'll talk a bit more about YouTube. So when I first started in the 6-hour era, having lots of fun. Halfway through S-Class, having lots of fun. But when my enjoyment for the game wasn't there, it really affected the videos. So, like, halfway through the last half of the S-Class, wasn't enjoying it. It was just very boring to me, and I think it was shown in the videos. And then starting Mythics, I was very excited. So content was a bit better, and then towards the end of Mythics for me, I was not having any fun. Pulling was the most fun for me, and obviously that's giving Scopely money. So yeah, not good. So yeah, it really did suffer then. I'm sorry for that, but I've never made a single penny off YouTube, believe it or not. I was never in it for the money for YouTube. It's purely an enjoyment thing for me, and that's how I plan to keep it. It sort of became a chore near the end because I wasn't enjoying it. I wasn't enjoying the game, so making the videos on the game wasn't, it wasn't fun for me. Now, let's go with Scopely on this. So, some of you are probably wondering, oh, damn, why did you never join the Scopely Content Creator Group? Now, if it's not obvious enough, I vocally shit on Scopely for the stupid thing they've done in the past, and I've really went into them a lot of times on the bad decisions they've made. Hence why I've never been contacted by Scopely, I've never been asked to do anything by Scopely, and I would never have been offered to go into the content creator group, which I would have considered it, but I'm not signing anything to do with Scopely, because God forbid I'm signing my soul away to the fucking devil. So yeah. who are my favorite RTS YouTubers at the moment? So Fox was my favorite of all time. Jab and Vans were definitely up there. They were great. I like Texas Conquest streams. They were fucking amazing. Mr. C's overall is just great. So yeah, I guess I would say Mr. C is probably my favorite at the moment, although he's a bit like me and he's inconsistent as fuck. So yeah. I was never offered anything by Scopely. I've never had any contact with Scopely. I got no special treatment at all from Scopely. Like, literally nothing. No messages from them, nothing from the dev team. Absolutely nothing. So, just wanted to clear that up. But talking about special treatment, I guess we can go on to this. So, believe it or not, I know it's going to be hard to believe, but Scopely does play favorites. And the people they like the most in the game are the spenders, right? Now, I'm not sure how frequently this happens anymore, but at one point in time in the RTS, let's say around about S classes, it might have been S classes, it was definitely S classes, some people had direct contact with Scopely. And these were the big spenders, right? So obviously, I wasn't a part of that. So they would have direct contact with Scopely, and they could ask them anything, like a developer, a director, whatever. I don't know what it was. They just had a direct contact, and they could get some really good information out of them. And yeah, that was interesting. So that's all that I know. They were definitely having some direct lines to people, and obviously you got the players' council getting inside information. Like I remember towards the end of S class, people were saying, "Don't pull, just don't pull, don't pull." They said just don't pull, so nobody pulls. And then Mythics came out. So I'm going to go on the assumption that Scopely does have small groups or connections with people that they do feed information to that's not public, which I do think is kind of sneaky. But yeah, it definitely does happen. Like, I get it. They got to make the top, like, 2% happy. But, like, it's definitely fucking sneaky. And I didn't appreciate that. So let's talk about the longevity of the game. So, RTS has been going on a downward spiral for a long time. Now, 5-star popping, absolute popping. The amount of players there was amazing. It was fucking hype as fuck. It was great. Lots of competition. I remember watching Van's video, Fuckers versus Nevermind. Oh my god, that was a stacked region. Absolutely crazy battles. Then 6 stars, cross-region war. It was still very engaging. Lots of people there. Lydia's, Erica's, a bit of an iffy one there. And then even in S class, like early S class, there was plenty of factions, plenty of players. But over time, it's just the pool of players and competitive players is just getting smaller and smaller. But I don't think the game's going to die yet. Now, here's why. RTS is the Walking Dead game, right? The Walking Dead Road to Survival. The Walking Dead is still premiering on TV. So while there's still people actively looking at RTS-related things, whether it's games, news, whatever, this game will still get, admittedly not a lot, but it will still get searches, and people will still look at it, maybe start it, and whatnot. But the second the RTS, why do I keep saying RTS? The second The Walking Dead goes off TV and it's done, it's on its last season right now. I think that's when the interest of this game is going to really suffer, if you will. Now, I don't think many people are already searching for this game, but with no Walking Dead on TV and the lack of interest, Scopely's player base is going to, it's going to go downhill fast. Now, what can they do to, save the game? Not much. They won't advertise it on TV because it's not worth money. They've got like that Looney Tunes game. I'm sure it's making them a lot more money, and RTS is going smaller. And honestly, the community is kind of toxic in regards to anything. So yeah, I don't think they even want to save the game. I think they're just going to milk it for everything it's worth until eventually it doesn't make sense to keep it going because they're not making enough profit. But I will say the average RTS player spends a lot more than any other game, just based on these stupid mythic prices. So they can still maintain this for a long time, but interest towards the game and new players coming in, it's not going to happen. So, there's been a lot of people in the community that like me, dislike me over this past few years. So, I'll just address that. Frankly, don't really care. never really cared for anything. Like, if you trolled me, if you're nice to me, it's cool. It's a fucking internet. You shouldn't be getting offended over words and whatnot. If someone shit talks you, at the end of the day, it's a fucking internet. Who gives a fuck? Now, my Discord, it's weird. It's staying around. I mean, I'm not gonna really touch it. It's just gonna be there. Yeah, it's pretty fucking toxic and it's pretty fucking weird, but it's just gonna stay there. Now, here's another thing. I just thought this on the spot, but another thing that makes it interesting to see that Scoopy's sales were fucking suffering. Now, I don't blame them 100% for this move because it was the player's fault. So, Tapjoy. Let's talk about Tapjoy. Interesting conversation. Tapjoy was a great way of free-to-play or mild spenders to get, mild spenders to keep up in the game. Now, I never personally abused Tapjoy. Maybe I reset the ad once every so often, but it wasn't often. But some people were literally abusing the living fuck out of Tapjoy, and like we're getting like 200, 300,000 coins. Just like refreshing the same offers over and over. And obviously that's affecting Scopely's sales. Like you can get, let's say you put like £200 into Tapjoy, right? And you make out like 150,000 coins. That's like 3 promos. Like, that's hurting Scopely's sales. And to an extent, like, people were abusing the shit out of it. And I have seen people with like 200, 300, 400,000 coins. So I understand why Scopely had to cut ties with Tapjoy because there was no feasible way of stopping it. Because Tapjoy deemed, if they rewarded you the coins, they deemed it, fair play. Like, obviously, they can't detect if you're abusing it or if you're doing the same game over and over. So Scopely's only real option was to get rid of Tapjoy. But their alternative to it, which always pisses me off, is that fucking web portal. Like, that web portal is a sack of shit. And I'm not even going to pull back on this one. It is so fucking bad. So, first of all, it's junky. It just feels janky. It doesn't feel smooth. It feels very buggy. And the sales on that, yeah, they're all right. But, like, it's nowhere near what Tapjoy was. Like, Tapjoy, you had to put some time and money in. But, like, it was a lot more worthwhile than their fucking web portal. Like, they're trying so hard to bypass Apple and Google's cut by making the deals on there better. But honest to God, like it's a sack of shit. And I would never buy anything off that website because it doesn't seem safe. Like, honest to God, I reckon some rookie who's like studying coding could fucking hack into that bitch and then just steal everyone's information and be like, yep. So it just feels like it's not a very good fucking website. It feels like a piece of shit. So that's my thing on there. And the sales on there, like, yeah, maybe it was double the value, but like it was limited to once. So like it wasn't even, it was no alternative to Tapjoy. And comparing it to Tapjoy is just an insult, to be honest. Like, Tapjoy was the GOAT, and that web portal was a sack of shit. But yeah, I think that's all I really want to talk about, to be honest. My enjoyment for the game is just plummeted. Do I regret installing the game? Yeah. Like, shit, if I could go back 6 years and not install it, absolutely. But besides that, I've had a lot of good times in RTS. Made a lot of new friends, a lot of enemies. Overall, it's been an interesting experience. Taking up a lot of free time. Great through COVID times. It was a great waste of time since everyone was housebound. If there's one thing I could say to Scopely is you're fucking shit. You're worse than EA in a lot of senses, and the only way you can make the game more enjoyable for players is, first of all, make the roadmaps worthwhile grinding. Because they're not worth grinding. They are a fucking waste of time. The story isn't there, and oh my god, it's just a waste of time. The rewards are shite. Second of all, make more game modes. Like, it's just very simple. The same rotation of events every week is stale. It's boring. Next of all, update your fucking features. Don't neglect shit. Update everything on a weekly, monthly basis. The gold mythic wheel, just give out more tokens, update it. 4-star weapon wheel, update it. Museum collection, do something with the points. Add customization. Free-to-play events a lot more frequent because there's so much fucking premium events. It's actually sickening. Make War of Champions once a year. Don't fucking milk it. It's something special. Don't milk it, for fuck's sake. What else? Shit, I don't know. Yeah, events need better awards, like a lot better awards, better free-to-play tunes. Honestly, fuck the Discord. It's so fucking shit. It's just, what's the best word for it? Like, the announcements on there are fucking pointless, like, honest God. Apart from that, I don't think there's really much more I want to say. RTS is just, it's just not there for me anymore. It might be there for some people, but here's a message for you. If you're still enjoying the game, play it. If you don't matter how anyone else does it, and play it how you want. If you want to play and spend, go for it. If you want to play in free to play, sure. If you want to play casual, go for it. But here's the thing: when it doesn't become enjoyable, take a step back, or like it's to the point where you're physically forcing yourself to log in, because of the investment you've already put in. And honestly, just get out. Like, think about it like this: if you're there because you're like, oh, I've invested too much, I'm not quitting. If you're still investing every month, just think how much you could save per year, and that should be an eye opener for you, and it should help with your decision to stay or go. But apart from that, yeah, Scopely, you're just crap. Player base, it's not really there anymore. It's kind of just a toxic shithole. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. It's just RTS ain't it anymore. What's gonna happen with the channel? I don't know. It's just gonna sit there, to be honest. Same with my account. It's just gonna sit there and rot. Maybe I'll update the YouTube every so many months, or maybe if I want to upload something on it, I might. But yeah, for the foreseeable future, nothing's really gonna come from it. It's just gonna sit there. Hope you've enjoyed the last 2 years of content. I think the channel's been up for like nearly 3 years. So it's been a good haul. Lots of good times, lots of shit times. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the last few years of content. I've enjoyed most of it, like I said in the video. I won't go on anymore. So apart from that, why so serious out, or Dan, whatever you want to call me. And I hope to everyone in the game, Scopely, it does improve. But honestly, after 6 years, they have their up and downs, but majority of the time it's just down. And yeah, that's where I'm gonna just leave it at. So hope you will have a good day, night, whatever it might be, and I hope whatever you chose to do, whether you continue to play or not, yeah, you just have fun. So yeah, peace.